Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Coach Nate with the Benevolent Academy, and today we are going to cover 3 basic concepts to make you stronger. Let's get into it. Now this is the first time I've used this setup, so bear with me. I'm just kind of checking everything out. I hope the microphone works okay. In the future, we'll have better microphones, but for now, this is just going to be how it is. This is going to be a very quick video. So, okay, let's get started. The premise of this exercise today is going back, and I had somebody who was watching videos named Noelle. So, Noelle, this video is for you. Thank you for hunting me down. She went to bladefitacademy.com and sent me an email, and I read it, and I thought, okay, we got to cover this. She's in a remote location, or Noelle, don't know gender, but in a remote location and lockdown and all that, and et cetera, et cetera. Wanted to know some sort of things to do. So that's what we're going to do. We got a Viking sword that's being commissioned. So Viking martial arts is what Noelle is interested in. And I got to tell you, so far as the archaeological record is, we don't have written documents talking about how exactly Viking era people trained, but we have later manuals, and I think there's some very basic things that they understood, and we're going to practice that now. So I'm going to use this trusty sword here because it approximates sort of a Viking sword. It's a little shorter, of course. I am in my indoor studio with the lower ceiling. So the 3 basic concepts. First concept that they understood very well is measure. What do I mean by measure? Let's see. Please do weapon tutorials slow for like combat mace, spear, messer, longsword. All right, buddy. I definitely will. We'll do that. Thank you for letting me know what you want. So we are going to get into that. For combat, like mace, spear, messer, longsword. Okay. Today is more calibrated towards Viking. I'm not an expert in Viking fighting. I'm not sure anybody is really. But like I said before, there are principles that we could take and learn from later manuals, and then we can boil it down to its essence. So here we go. The first lesson, back of the first lesson, is measure the distance between you and your enemy. And we can mitigate this, we can control this by our footwork. And so that's what we're going to do. So here is my enemy, here is me. I have my attack influence on this dummy. This dummy, if it was a person, has the same against me. So I need to make sure that when I am fighting this person, that I need to control the distance. I need to control the measure. So in order to do that, I use certain footwork. Now, if I'm going to come up and talk to this guy, right, my stance is one way. We're friends, we're talking, so et cetera, et cetera. But when I want to fight him, my body needs to do different things. And so first we need to talk about stance. Also how to be a more aggressive fighter for HEMA. Dude, I love it. We're definitely going to do that too. What you are saying is true even for boxing. Yeah, distance. Yes. In later manuals, especially British military saber, we talk about, they don't use the word measure, they use distance as well. So I think that word came into prominence later on. We're talking 1,000 years ago, 1,000 plus years ago, Viking era. A couple hundred years after that, they refer to it as measure. We'll refer to it as measure just because it's closer. Doesn't really make a difference. The point is this, right? And so I need to create for myself a good stance. So what is a good stance? I need to have my feet further apart, and I need to be able to have my core straight. I should be able to hunker down like this and stay balanced, right? Because the power's coming from my legs. Usually in a martial art, one foot is slightly in front of the other. or vice versa. So measure. 5 minutes into this video, and here we are just barely getting started. Sorry, guys. Let me calibrate this real quick. I hope you can hear me. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so a couple things. When we want to attack, well, we're talking about measure, but when I want to attack, I need to come into distance, right, and get out of distance safely. I don't want to linger, because if you get hit by a sword, that's the last thing that you're going to remember. So it's very important that we get in, do our cut, and get out. Now, there's a couple ways of doing this. If I Viking style, we're gonna go sword without shield. So one foot is in front of the other. I'm gonna step forward, and there's my attack, and then I am going to come back. Right. So we call that, right, a full step. So I'm here like this. I'm balanced. Full step. And back, full step, and back. I can do it. And that's if I'm cutting from my right. If I'm cutting from my left, I step forward with my left and back. Step forward with my left and back. Forward with my left and back. Okay. I could do it like this as well. I could go step forward, and with this foot, back. So you can make an adjustment. So forward and back. Okay. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. Forward, back. Swords is mostly leg work, guys. It's 80% leg work. So if you got the leg work down, you're going to become a better fighter with swords of any discipline, right? So forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. Okay, that's what I wanted to share with you with measure. Couple exercises to help you with that. You could do some reverse lunges, right? So forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. Notice the balance is over my pelvis when I do this, right? I'm waving my arm just because usually you have a sword out there, right? Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. Good. Okay. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about the second concept, which is defense. So here I'm going to use my sword. We're going to get really basic with this, guys. This is very elemental. So a couple places you can hold your hand on your body. A couple things we want to do. We want to make sure that we're fast. We want to make sure that we're powerful. And we want to make sure that we're balanced, right? So a couple places on the human body where you can start your attack. And a good fencer understands that you start an attack from your defense. Or in other words, some people call it the ward, right? What ward you're in. And there's lots of different systems, but basically you can hold the sword over your head. You can hold the sword at your shoulders. And you can hold the sword at your hips. Right? And there's tons of variations on that theme. But basically, the sword is, your hand is over your head, holding the sword. It's at your shoulders, like this general area. Right? Always across the midline, right? Here's your midline. You're always across the midline. And the reason why is the way the human body is built, there is ligaments that cross across our backs from our shoulders to our hips on either side. And that cross-body pull or motion, you're using those giant rubber bands in your muscles, crisscross your spine. And that's what gives you all that power, right? So it sprouts from the ground through your hips, translates across your torso and into your sword tip, right? And that consequently, we're also balanced if we do that, right? So, okay, but this is about defense. So again, here, here, right? Now, let's talk about attack. Well, really quickly. So if someone strikes me here, boom, there we go. And I set myself up for an attack. Someone comes here, boom, I set myself for an attack. Someone attacks me kind of like head and neck, boom, you hit it with the strong your sword, come around this way, same thing. Someone attacks me here, boom, there we go. Hands at the hip, I've blocked myself, same thing with the other side. And then here, you're fighting for the inside line for your thrust, right? On either way. But that's all holding it so I could cut up or I could thrust from my hip, right? Okay. So that starts from defense. Defense and attack kind of go into each other as I just showed you. Okay, so now we're getting into attacks. Let's see. Any recommended exercises like bench, squats. If you do the big four, it doesn't matter what sport you do. If you do the big four, then you are definitely setting yourself up for success. A lot of people say be careful though, not to do heavy weights because it ruins your quickness. I'm not sure about that. If you're training for a tournament specifically, the sooner you pack on the raw muscle is better, and then fine tune that as you move forward. You're going to lose some raw strength because you want the technique. Remember, your muscle is attached to your ligaments, but it's also the fascia around your musculature, and that's really what you want to hone with your combat sports. And so when you get a lot of gains in strength, it messes with that fascia, and then that's what muscle memory is, when you're imprinting on your fascia to do certain things. And that's why when you get good at stuff and you're doing it over and over and over again, it's because your muscles have trained your fascia to be a rubber band and spring, right? So you can effortlessly do that thing. That's your fascia working. Your muscles activate your fascia. So let's see. That's why you just be more stiff. I don't know, dude. I'm not here to argue with you. All I know is working out's good. Fine tune it the way you want to fine tune it, and that's cool. So let's continue. So if you see, where were we? Distracted me by this guy. I love that topic, but this isn't for that video. Okay, defense, attack. Right. So as you can see, they're related, right? Defense into an attack. So learning attack. Here's what we want to do. As we cut, right? We want to cut across the body. We want to cut across the body. So here's some basic exercises that you can do. From here, I want to step, right? Because I want to get into measure, but I want to cut first. My sword needs to be leading the way. Why does my sword need to be leading the way? Because if I step in to this aggressive dummy and he's waiting for me with a pointy stick or a sword or a spear or something, my defense is back here and I'm doomed. Or if I step in and I'm leading with my hand, that's my big target, right? That's a big juicy target. They injure my hand or my wrist, I might as well not have a sword at all. So that's why you want to lead with your sword as you cut and then step in. Boom. And I'm generating the power actually from my back leg anyway. So if I'm like this, in this position, I'm stepping forward. I want to cut. So I'm cutting with my sword. That power is coming actually from this heel. Boom, right? So by the time I get into measure, my sword is in between me and my opponent, or in Viking days, between me and my enemy. So, boom, cut one, boom, cut two, cut one, cut two, cut one, cut two, cut one, cut two. Notice how I'm using my footwork. I'm not getting any closer. I'm not like stepping closer. And now what do? Right? I'm using my footwork to keep the measure that I want. 1, 2, 1, 2. And these are cuts 1 and 2. Right to left is cut 1. Left to right is cut 2. Right? 1, 2. 1, 2. Now 3 and 4. 3 starts from the hip. right? 1 and 2 start from the shoulder. 3 and 4 start from the hip. 3, 4, 3, 4, right? So 3, 4, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So if you practice that over and over, then there you go. So Noel, this video is for you. I try to make it under 10 minutes. We're at 15 minutes, but there you are. Practice those a lot. I alluded to this, but I didn't really say it, so I'll backtrack. So in the measure, right, in the footwork, I did mention the reverse lunges, but you, like in your stance, you need to be comfortable with the squat, right? Like I kind of mentioned before, you need to be able to do this, but you should do this, right? You need to be able to do this. So in order to know if you can do it, you need to do that a lot, right? So in your stance, like squat in your stances, and then do the reverse lunge, squats. Another thing is jump rope. Jump rope is amazing for sword sports. If you don't have a jump rope, or if you just want to start and you're not used to jumping, just jump, right? Jump like this, just jump. Or, jump rope is better if you use the jump rope. Jump rope is always better. Okay, guys, that's all I got. Yeah, all right. So thanks for watching, guys, and that's all I have. Now I got to figure out how to turn off this live video, and you're going to see my head just because the way the camera is. And check to see. All right. So, here we go. End stream. It's that button. Hey, guys, again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. All right. Peace out. Love you guys. Be safe, and have an awesome day. Slay your demons.